Yo, hey, what's going on, everyone? I hope everyone is doing great. Today, I am going to cover SMT. And before I go any further, I am not a financial advisor. Everything that I'm saying or showing you is for entertainment purposes. It's just what I've learned through all my own journey. All right, so let's get down to business. What is SMT? How do you use SMT? I'm going to teach you here. This is how I use it. All right, so SMT, it's smart money technique, or some people will say it's smart money tool. It's just a tool that you use and it helps you analyze the market. That's how I use it. It's an intermarket divergence concept basically, and it shows you manipulation. So, how do you use SMT? You use SMT when you're comparing two correlated markets. So here in front, I'm showing you ES at the top, and then I'm showing you Nasdaq at the bottom. So what other markets can you use it with? You can use Euro USD with GBP USD. You can use Bitcoin with Ethereum. You can use gold and silver. So I'm sure there's tons of other ones. Those are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. So this helps you identify or detect liquidity sweeps, and it helps you detect the early stages of reversals. Um, so, I mean, SMT signals when the right time for a market to also begin expanding. So let me show you here. We're gonna have, let's say, one market. Change this to yellow. All right, so we're gonna have. Let me choose the right tool. That's not what I wanted to use. All right, so let's say we're looking at. What's going on? Hold on. Mm, all right, that side, and now we're gonna use. All right, so here in my drawing, these are supposed to be two different charts that you're looking at. So let's say this is ES on the left side, and this is NQ on the right side. So here, ES comes, takes um, the liquidity that we're looking for. Then you're going to end up seeing a reversal. And then NQ, sometimes you're looking at the charts and you're like, I know this is the low that needs to be targeted, but then NQ doesn't come and sweep it. And then you just see the reversal happen. And then you're just thinking, what's going on? Why didn't, or you're in a short and it doesn't come take it or whatnot. And you're just wondering why NQ didn't come take this low. Well, that's because you're not using SMT. You're not consistently looking at um, the correlated market like ES or the Dow Jones. I'm I use this, so I'm always comparing all of the charts between all three of them. So, um, yeah. So as soon as you see if ES came and took this low, NQ does not need to do well. So if you're looking for SMT, okay. So if ES comes, takes this low, and NQ doesn't, and then there's a reversal, NQ does not need to sweep this because ES already came and took that low. And then maybe later on, at another day or another week, it can come back and sweep it. But so whenever the algo goes into a buy program or either a sell program, it will not target this low until it sweeps another buy side liquidity target, and then it can, you can go into a reversal up here and then target the low. But I'm trying to show you how SMT works. So let's say we have these lows, this line, these are the whatever, let's say a previous cycle low. It's a previous cycle low. Well, if we're looking at the charts and then ES comes, sweeps it, then you want to go target the previous cycle highs. So, and Q doesn't sweep it, you're gonna, and then I'm gonna make a video on time. So, ES comes, sweeps that low, then you're gonna look for the reversal, and then you're gonna target the highs. So that's how SMT works. Now there's three types of SMT. Um, Honestly, I don't remember. I know there is three of them. It doesn't. There's three types of SMTs. It doesn't have to go in order, but the types of SMT is this is one example when we're targeting a low, right? So ES comes, takes this low, and Q does not take that low. So that's type 1 SMT. Another type 2 SMT is whenever um, we are sweeping here, right? And then on the lower time frame, on on the lower time frame, we have another little sweep here, right? And then let's say we're looking for longs, right? And then on the lower time frame, there is like so they both swept the previous cycle low or whatever the low um, time-based liquidity that you're looking for. So here you'll create your SMT at the bottom. This is type 2, right? So we swept this liquidity, and then on the lower time frame, you have SMT here at the bottom. So whenever I know I'm going to target the previous cycle highs, and then we have SMT at these little candle lows, then I'm going to be looking for CSD, and I'm going to start my entry to enter longs somewhere around here, right? And then I would take partials, and then target the highs. So this is type 2 SMT, right at the SMR. SMR is smart money reversal, just in case you were wondering. Um, so this is type 2. Type 3 SMT is when you combine both of them. So um, let me just erase this. So let's say ES came, swept the previous cycle low, and then NQ did not sweep that low, but or did not sweep this low either. So we come, we sweep the previous cycle low, NQ did not. Or like you have SMT here, so like we didn't sweep the previous cycle low, but then we have this other low, and then ES swept this low, and then NQ didn't. Or we did sweep that low, but we did not sweep this low. So then you have this SMT here, like that. So ES swept that low here, NQ did not sweep that low there. And I'm looking at the previous cycle low, previous week low, previous week high, or your previous day high, previous day low, your previous sessions. So if you have questions on that, just look at my other video on PXH and PX low. All right, so I'm going to show you some examples on the charts for some of the trades that I took. So here, if we look, we had that previous week slow, and here, actually, this is probably going to be a bad example. Let me see, get YM, because I think YM took that low. So the YM, all right, so we had the YM here. That was that low, previous week's low, okay? So here, if you look, we came, we swept that liquidity. So if you look, this low here, NQ did not sweep that. The YM did. So that was already thrown. That should immediately start throwing like red flags. So the YM for that Friday, the YM took that low, took previous week's low, and then we compare it with ES and NQ, that low, ES didn't take it and NQ didn't take it. So I'm like, okay, we should start seeing signs of reversals, right? And then if you look here, so one, we have this SMT here, right? SMT bottoms. Okay. And then here, if you look at ES and NQ, NQ did not take that low. You see that? NQ did not take this low. You can see it did not. But then, if you look at ES, ES did take that low. So ES came and swept that low. Right? And then I believe I ended up taking longs. I have a video, so what's that? July 14th. I think I took longs that video. I don't know. Just look at my uploads. I don't know. What I did take, I believe I took this short here. Can't remember what videos I upload, to be honest. So here you can look for CSD, which CSD is right here. Take that order block or that fair value gap and low hanging fruit. The low hanging fruit on the hourly is up here. So this is the low hanging fruit. But the previous week's high is up here. This is the previous week's high. Previous week's high. So we come, we sweep the previous week's low. You look for CSD. That's CSD. Low hanging fruit is here. The target will be here. Okay. What's next? Now we sweep previous week's high. So now that we sweep previous week's high, we're going to look for previous week's low now, right? These are equal lows. So look, we once buy side liquidity is already taken, now we want to look um, for a low, right? So what are the rules? The previous week's high was taken. Now we want to look for previous week's low. Well, the thing is that and now that we took the highs, NQ never came to take these lows. So look at all these equal lows. These are equal lows. These are equal lows. Where there's SMT is equal lows. So now we want to look for some lows to target, right? I'm not gonna immediately I'm not gonna immediately look for shorts, okay? And this is very important. So make sure that you write this down, okay? So if you see SMT that is signed, so right now here we're looking for buys, okay? Let me get this arrow. So here after their CSD, you're looking for buys, okay? SMT is only valid after CSD has been confirmed, okay? I'm going to repeat that so you can understand. SMT is only valid after CSD has been confirmed, okay? So, can you take, longs or shorts when you see SMT? Yeah, you can. The reason why I wait until there's CSD is because it's a higher probability, okay? I'm sure there's definitely this was what Asia time. I'm sure that it's a major uh, liquidity. So it's a previous week's low. So I'm sure there's definitely some long entries right there. I'm not awake by that time, so you can look into that or back test it. Um, all right, so here, previous week's low. Previous week's high. We sweep it, right? Right here, the CSD. So you see this order block. Why is it CSD? Look at these. Look at how these candles are closing bearish below this bullish one. So then there's the short entries. This is a day I'm almost sure I took a short here. So I look for my time of interest, and I'm looking for a PD array. So I took a short here. The low hanging fruit is right here. This is the low hanging fruit on the hourly. Okay. I look for my time of interest here. This was New York. I took the short. London low got hit. Okay. You can leave runners if you want to leave runners to here or whatever. But now, if you look at the top chart and the bottom chart, what happened? See, NQ did not take these lows. But guess what? Look at ES. ES took these lows. ES also took this low all the way over here. Look, previous week's low. ES came, took it. Let's look at NQ. NQ did not take it. So there's a huge SMT right here. There's SMT right here as well. I'm sure there is long entries at this right here. I'm sure there is long entries. NQ does not need to sweep these lows because ES already came and took them. The next day, I'm almost sure I took long entries right here. Why? Because we already closing bullish. We're disrespecting everything on this side. All right, we're disrespecting everything on this side now. So now I know the order flow changed. All right. If we're closing above everything over here, I know the order flow changed. So what is the low hanging fruit? So the low hanging fruit now is going to be this high. This high is previous day high, previous day high. That's buy side, right? So what happens? Asia expands. London retraces. What do we retrace into? We retrace into this order block right here. You can use this order block. You can use this fair value gap. What is the low hanging fruit on the hourly? The low hanging fruit is here. And I'm almost sure I took longs there. So this is the buy side. This is buy side liquidity, right? So when you enter here, you look for longs at the time of interest, right? So keep in mind, I don't know if it's going to bounce off of here. I don't know if it's going to bounce off of down here. What I will look for is what we're doing at that time of interest, right? So low hanging fruit is here. I know we have, because we're bullish, I know we're going to target previous day high. Okay. So if I take partials here at the London high, I'm going to leave runners to the previous day high. So now I know that these are the targets, right? How am I using it whenever I'm trading? So I know on my higher time frame where my order flow is at. How am I using it in my lower time frames, right? So I'm going to zoom in. Let's zoom in here. Actually, let's go back because I'm going to get lost. All right, right here. All right, before I drop down to those time frames, let me highlight it here on ES, and I will show you. So let's zoom in here. All right. If you look very, very closely, all right, this is the New York time. Look at these candle lows, right? This is London. Here, NQ comes, sorry. Okay. Here, NQ comes and we sweep. You see how we come and we sweep that? Right there. And that was the 9 o'clock hour. Now we look at ES. Look at this. That's that same low, the 9 o'clock hour. ES does not sweep it. So I know at my time of interest, I'm going to wait. We wait. We see that NQ already swept it. So that's already your SMT. This is your SMT, right? So this is the candle low. So now we're going to zoom in, okay? All right, 1 minute. Nope, not there. All right, it's here. Then we're going to come to the 1 minute on ES. You might hear my cat in the back. All right, so these are the lows. All right, you're dropping down to your lower time frame. You see here, we have those lows. So we have SMT here and here. So that's SMT for that day, right? And now here for NQ, we're looking at the same thing. All right, SMT. So this is type 1 SMT, right? Type 1 SMT because we swept these lows, but ES did not sweep them. So if it happens during my time of interest, I'm gonna make another video on time. Okay, I'm not gonna dig too much into that. I don't want to start confusing people and stuff. Let's stick to SMT. So here we swept it. This is type 1 SMT. I will look for entries, right? When we start disrespecting other PD arrays, then I will start looking for long entries, right? What's something else that I will look for? Not only am I looking for long entries already, if another candle low was swept, that's another green flag for me, right? You see this low? Look at this low with ES and NQ. You see this? This is a low that for ES, and look, NQ swept it again. That's another alert that should be like, okay, well, we just swept these lows, and then NQ sweeps this low here, but ES did not. That's type 2 SMT. This is type 2 SMT, and then you combine them together. It's considered type 3, right? Because we sweep these lows here, but then we sweep these lows here. That's type 3 SMT, right? If this was not swept, just for example, if this was not swept, only it was swept here, even though this is confirmation this is type 2 SMT, I will still be looking for longs, okay? But this is when you combine both of them, it's even better. Well, to me, it's a lot better. So you have type 1 and type 2, so that's type 3 SMT. What's the low hanging fruit? The low hanging fruit is up here. Okay? Low hanging fruit right there. Buy side liquidity. So now I know we're in a buy program, right? This is CSD right here. This is the order block. CSD. So whenever there's CSD, you have your entry there. You put it at the low of that SMT. Okay, that SMT should be respected. When you target, you take partials or you hold it. Right. You can trade however you want. Um, if you don't catch this entry at the low at the SMR, you can use other things. I believe I was waiting for these when I made that video. I was waiting for these order blocks. One thing I didn't pay attention to. I was looking for longs the whole time, but one thing that I missed is you can use everything. You can use this wick right here. Once once we flip into a buy program, okay? I just want to let you sink this into your head. Once we go into a buy program, get my little arrow. Once we go into a buy program, right? Because first this was a sell program. Sell program, we took the liquidity over here, and then we're gonna flip into a buy program. Once the algo flips into a buy program, it should respect all the PD arrays. Okay, if it leaves these open, if it leaves these fair value gaps open, it doesn't need to go back down here. Okay, so if we start disrespecting more stuff on this side over here, if we start disrespecting more stuff on this side over here, we can use anything on the left side to go up, right? So if it does not rebalance and come down here, then we can go up. And I believe whenever we were looking at this trade, I'm almost sure there was SMT here too. So, anyways, you could have used if you were in the long entry, you could have used this here to go long. So that wick, you could have used that, go long. So that's almost a 3 hour trade right there. So and eventually it did go take the previous day high. So again, there's three types of SMT. It can happen at the SMR, smart money reversal, or it can be at the previous time cycle. You choose whatever that time cycle is, which is a session low, a previous cycle low, or whatnot. Um, or you combine type 1 and type 2. That would be type 3 SMT. I hope this was educational for y'all. I hope y'all took some notes. Feel free to ask me other questions. Put them in the comments. Don't forget to either subscribe and like the video as well.